Hello and welcome to Breakout session number 44. Calling this one the House of Blues versus the BB Box. So we're going to pick up where we left off in the last Breakout session 43. I'll put a link to that down in the description, as well as all the materials you're going to need today for this episode. Okay, first I want to say hi to all the members of the Guitar League out there. And I want to thank everybody who's subscribed already and ask you guys, if you haven't, or even if you're not in the Guitar League, I would like you to subscribe to my channel and hit the little bell, and we can notify you when there's stuff coming up. There's all kinds of different things on this channel. And if you would, please hit the like button. That really helps. I'm trying to increase my subscribers, as you know. Okay, so back in the last episode, we've been working on an A minor pentatonic scale. That would be C major. We were showing how to play thirds over the chord changes of a 1-4-5 blues progression in A. So the chords would have been A7, D7, and E7 if you remember, or please go back and watch that one. But I've got a new and improved House of Blues that you'll have down in the description that I think will really help you see where these notes are. Okay, so first let me show you again the House of Blues. You know, you've got an A minor pentatonic scale. The House of Blues is going to be up here starting on the 8th fret. That's the House of Blues. And that finger, your ring finger, ends up on the root note, in this case, which is an A. But we can move this House of Blues to a lot of different keys. Okay? So, I showed these things to you in the last episode about, if you think of the house, whoa, my house is real big. If you think of the house as a house, it's hard to do it when you do a fretboard printout because you're looking at it upside down. Now we're looking at it right side up. Okay, the root note is represented here by the red dot. You're going to have this, so I want you to print it out in color. And it tells you what everything is. And the orange dot in what we call the front door is going to be the major third of the one chord, which is the A. The yellow dot here on this upside second floor balcony is the major third of the 4 chord, which is the D7. Okay? The green dot in the window on the second floor is the major third of the 5 chord, which is the E7, okay? And now, thanks to my friend Pete, we learned there is a chimney to this house, and up in that chimney, you see that blue dot. That is the blue note for that scale. So that's pretty cool. So these will help you visualize, because I'm all about visualization and shapes, okay? This, I think, will help you. The strings that we're talking about are a G string, a B string, and an E string down at the bottom of the neck here. And then this is going to be movable, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. So hopefully this will help you visualize the House of Blues and what you can do with it. And that's just playing major thirds and the blue note of the chords as you go by, the chord tones, okay? So, we were calling this the House of Blues versus the BB Box. Okay? So, the House of Blues, as we said, is right here, and the A note is right under my ring finger here. Well, if I come up 2 frets and I put my index finger on that A note and make the same House of Blues shape, that is now the BB Box. So you're gonna, in any key that you're in, you find the House of Blues, And then you can move it to the BB box. Okay, so this is a really cool thing. Now I got a request from a friend of mine who's an excellent guitar player. He can pick out a melody out of a song first time he hears it. But he was struggling a little bit using scales, and then when the chord changes, he was thinking, where do I go from here? Well, I want to help you with that. There's many ways to do this, okay? But I'm going to take a first basic visualization to help you do that, to play the changes over the chord changes, okay? And I'm calling this one playing the E, okay? And what I mean by that is we're going to be thinking about E-shaped chords. Okay, so in the case of the A7, and we were still in the key of A, 1-4-5 blues progression. So if we think about an A with the E shape, A7, and then we think about a D up here on the 10th fret with the E shape, and we think about an E up here. Just keep that in mind. That's what our mind is thinking when the chords are changing. So when you're playing over the A in this particular progression, you can use anything in that A minor pentatonic. You could actually use anything in the A major pentatonic over that A7. When you play the A major pentatonic, you're adding that major third. So you could play anything in the BB box, in the House of Blues over that A chord. Anything in the BB box, and you would all be good, okay? That's over the A. So you know we've been over those scales a bunch of times, okay? Now, when it goes to the D7, if you think of it this way, well, the BB box is right at the bottom of that D7. That shape is right here. So not only does the BB box work good over the A, it works excellent over the 4 chord. Okay, in this case, the D. Because it's coming right out of that E-shaped D chord. It's the bottom part of it. It's the triad at the bottom of that D. So over the D, you can go right to that BB box, okay? And then when it comes back to the A, you can go back to any of the A stuff. When it goes to the E7, think about that E-shaped E chord up on the 12th fret, and you can use anything in that E minor pentatonic, I would say, over the E. Then you go back to the BB box as it's going back to the D, and then you can come back to the A chord. So if you think about that shape, the E-shaped A chord, the E-shaped D chord, and the E-shaped E chord, and play the notes out of those over that chord change. So easily enough, you can, if you were playing a G blues, you'd be coming down 2 frets down here to G, right? And you'd be thinking about that. So the major and minor pentatonic are right here, okay? Under that E-shaped G chord. The 4 chord in that is going to be the C chord. And that's where the BB box would be for G. The House of Blues would just be, 2 frets up here from your minor pentatonic. Okay, so then we have the BB box. So when it went to the 5 chord, which in this case would be a D, you can come up to the D, E-shaped D chord, and play a D minor pentatonic. Then go back to the BB box for the C, and then back to the G. Obviously, if you go down a little further, you could do that in F, you know, or if you come up a little further, you can do it. Okay, so it's very movable, and if there's every note that you're going to need, just about every note in music is there, okay? So you've got every note that you need, and as we've been learning, fewer is better, especially in blues. If you leave a little space in there, a little air in there. So I'm hoping you got this message. This is another short one today, but I think, you know, I'm looking at shapes. Now, obviously, there's other shapes. It's called the cage system, you know. So we were looking at the E-shaped chords, okay? You can also look at the A-shaped is another way to look at things. Because when, like, if you're thinking, you know, over the A progression again, we're back to A. The 4 chord is going to be a D7, which is like right underneath that if you think in the way of A chords. Well, any of those triads in that D, A-shaped D triad, you could use over the D chord. And then the E chord is going to be up here. You know, the A-shaped E chord. So I don't want to get too far into this, but the point is, start with just thinking about E-shaped chords and where they are and what's underneath them. And then you can start thinking about the A-shaped chords and what's underneath them. And then you've got the D-shaped chords, you know, that are all over the place too. And you can play the triads out of those over the chord change, you know, when it gets to that chord. So, but for now, focus on looking at E's, playing the E's all over the place, okay? And give it a try. I put a little backing track on here, and I'm going to go out with a little bit of what I just showed you. So hopefully you enjoyed this, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks very much. Be safe out there.